All right, so it says graph the following. So remember our parent function. Knew it, always does it. Our parent function starts at 0, 0. And then we have to think of it, right? 1 squared, 2 squared, -1 squared, -2 squared. It's going to create this parabola. But we have to figure out what the shift is. The horizontal shift, +4. The vertical shift is 2. So starting at that 0, it's going to shift over +4 and up 2. So that's the new vertex. And then following the pattern, this is a thick pen, we get our parabola. Now the domain, right? If I were to smush this, project, 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 that's going to be -infinity to +infinity, and the range starts there and goes up to infinity. So that'll be from 2 to infinity. Same idea, still a parabola. The horizontal shift is -5. Remember, we do the opposite for the horizontal, and we do the same for the vertical. It's going to be up 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Following the pattern. Okay, there's our parabola. Domain, -infinity to +infinity. The range starts at 6, goes on to infinity. For this one, the horizontal shift, it's 0, but my vertical shift is 3. So 1, 2, 3. Follow the pattern. You might be wondering, like, okay, what do you mean by follow the pattern? Right? Well, if I have x squared, the middle, right, that's 0. 0 squared is 0. If I go one space to the left or right, 1 squared is 1. So 1 space 1, 1 space 1. If I go 2 spaces, 2 squared is 4. So 2 spaces is 4. And it does that on both sides. So that's what I mean by the pattern. You guys can get the domain and range from that. We'll do number 3. Moves over 3 spaces, right? The horizontal shift is +3. There's no vertical shift. Follow the pattern. Domain, -infinity to +infinity. The range starts at 0, goes up to infinity. For this one, the horizontal shift is +1. The vertical shift is -8. So now it goes down 8. Follow the pattern. -infinity to +infinity. -8 to infinity. The graph below represents the height h of a Sasquatch in feet as a function of its age, n in years. Use the graph, should say h of n, given below. But use this graph basically to answer the question. So find and interpret h of 0. So here's 0. H of 0, I'm plugging in 0. So that means that the height is going to be 2 feet. So you're born, right? When you're just born, you're going to be 2 feet tall. It's pretty big. How tall is a Sasquatch when she is 15 years old? So 15 is going to be 6 feet tall. All of h of n equals 6. So when does she equal 6 feet? So the idea is, like, when is she 6 feet tall, right? And so she's 6 feet tall when she's 15 and when she's 60. This is the interval over which h is constant, and interpret your answer. So that means they're the same height at between 30 and 45. Interval which is decreasing, and interpret your answer. So from 45 to 60, decreasing, so the interval 45, I have to use parentheses, to 60, it's decreasing because as you get older, your spine compresses and you actually lose some height. Now for this one, it says use your graphing calculator to approximate the local, you have to look at Desmos. So you're going to plug this into Desmos, and your graph is going to do something like that, right? And you're going to look for the absolute maximums, absolute minimums. You're going to look at the local maximums, local minimums. That's what extrema means, right? Extrema means the max and mins. And then you're also going to look at the intervals of increasing or decreasing. So, right, this is increasing, this is decreasing, increasing, decreasing. Those are the things that you're going to look at.